Snakes rely almost entirely on smell. They do not have ears. They read their environment through their tongue and the sensory organ called the Jacobson's organ, which processes chemical signals in the air. Certain plants produce compounds that overwhelm the system. The snake experiences it as pain. No snake willingly stays in that environment. Here are the 5 plants that trigger that response, where to place them, and exactly how to use them. Plant 1. Marigolds. Pest control companies use the same compound found in marigolds in their commercial repellent sprays. Marigolds produce a root chemical called alpha-tertinyl. This compound does not just repel snakes, it also destroys the microscopic organisms snakes feed on, removing their food source from your soil entirely. Plant marigolds in a dense border around the perimeter of your garden. Spacing matters. Keep them 15 to 20 centimeters apart. French marigolds carry the highest concentration of the active compound. African marigolds are larger but less potent. Go with French marigolds for maximum effect. Replace them each season as the root output drops after the first year. Plant 2. Wormwood. This plant was used as a natural pesticide for centuries before chemical agriculture existed. Snakes have always known to avoid it. Wormwood, also known as artemisia, produces absinthium and thujone in its leaves and stems. Both compounds are toxic to the nervous systems of cold-blooded animals. Snakes detect these compounds in the air from a distance and change direction. Plant wormwood along fence lines, around compost heaps, and near any wood piles or debris where snakes shelter. One warning: wormwood releases compounds that suppress the growth of nearby plants. Keep it at least 50 centimeters away from vegetables and flowering plants. Use it as a border plant only. It is drought-resistant and requires almost no maintenance once established. Plant 3. Lemongrass. This plant does 3 jobs at once. It repels snakes, mosquitoes, and ticks simultaneously. Lemongrass produces citronella, the same compound used in commercial insect and reptile repellents. The scent is overwhelming to snakes because it saturates their Jacobson's organ and blocks their ability to read their environment clearly. A disoriented snake moves away from the source. Plant lemongrass in large clumps rather than individual stems. The density of the plant also creates a physical barrier because snakes prefer low, clear ground to move across. They avoid pushing through dense vegetation when they cannot smell what is on the other side. Plant clumps at entry points, gates, gaps in fences, and garden edges near wooded areas. Lemongrass grows fast in warm climates and needs trimming every 6 to 8 weeks to stay dense.
Plant 4. Cinnamon. The same compound that makes cinnamon rolls smell incredible makes snakes physically retreat from your garden. Cinnamon produces cinnamaldehyde in its bark and oil. This compound binds directly to the receptors in the snake's Jacobson's organ, the sensory system snakes use to read their entire environment. The effect is not confusion, it is direct physical irritation across the skin and sensory tissue simultaneously. Sprinkle cinnamon powder in a thick, unbroken line along garden edges, fence bases, and entry points. For deeper penetration, mix 10 drops of cinnamon essential oil with 100 milliliters of water and spray it directly into the soil along your perimeter. The oil absorbs into the ground and stays active for 5 to 7 days. After rain, the compounds dilute fast and the barrier drops, so reapply immediately after any rainfall to keep the line intact. Plant 5. Mother-in-law's tongue. The plant sitting in your living room right now produces a chemical sharp enough to drive snakes out of your garden permanently. Mother-in-law's tongue, also known as sansevieria, produces saponins in its leaves and root system. These compounds are toxic to cold-blooded animals. When the plant is disturbed by wind or contact, saponins release into the surrounding air and soil. Snakes detect this through their Jacobson's organ and register it as a threat signal. Their response is immediate withdrawal. The plant also has a secondary defense. Its sharp, stiff leaves create a physical barrier that snakes actively avoid pushing through. Plant mother-in-law's tongue in dense clusters along garden borders, near entry points, and around the base of walls where snakes travel. Space each plant 20 to 25 centimeters apart so the root systems overlap and the saponin output builds up in the surrounding soil.
The plant thrives in full sun and requires almost no watering, making it one of the lowest maintenance perimeter plants available.